Games, Brains, A Head-Banging Life with 10 things we hate about Final Destination, the franchise, this series, all 5 films. Yeah, it's simple as that.
As much as we like them, there's always bits you can criticise.
Absolutely. We are both fans of this franchise. We think they're fun. We think they're enjoyable. We think there are some good films amongst the bad.
Weaker ones, yeah.
There are great moments. There's some great deaths. There's a lot of things to enjoy about them. I think they've got good wide appeal that horror fans can enjoy, while also more casual audiences can get a laugh out of the over-the-topness of it all. Yeah. You start the love, I will start the hate. Yeah. And it's really straightforward, which is, as a series, it starts off very seriously, with implications, like I said, with death was trying to hide things more, suicide and accidents, to just downright silliness, sometimes downright stupidity. Stupidity. I think some of them get really, really obnoxiously dumb. And I'm looking at the turning point about halfway through number 2 and all of number 3 as a big turning point. I think 5 pulls it back a bit, while still being silly, pulls it back a bit. But the Final Destination with the car, the whatever it is, Destruction Derby style one, and some of the deaths in that, it gets really stupid, and because of that, it gets less enjoyable. Yeah.
I've got something to link to that. So it was just sometimes they kind of got too silly for their own good, and just sort of a bit crap, really. Yeah.
I think it's a downward spiral from number 1. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, all the problem, like, it's all downhill, and I think we come back up for Final Destination 5.
And I think you've got to watch them as a whole package to kind of see that quite clearly, because you might forget in between and go, oh, Final Destination, you enjoy it for what it is then. But if you watch them in series, you're like, oh, yeah.
I often hear people praise the roller coaster one. Like, people tend to name them as the premonitions, the roller coaster one or the bridge one and stuff like that, which isn't great.
Yeah.
Which also then ties my next one. Characters. Yeah. As the films go on, characters go out the window. They become completely unimportant, and it's simply defined by something about you that will kill you.
Yeah.
That's what it becomes. Yeah. So you forget your Alexes and people like that in the very first one, where you actually have defined names. There's nothing really about them. Then it becomes, oh, this person's having laser eye surgery, or these girls love getting tanned, or this guy's scared of the dark, or this, these sort of things. It becomes about that. Rather than your defining characteristic, or something you're gonna do that's gonna end up with you dying. Yeah.
I put the bland like linking into that. The bland teens are some downright idiot characters. And when you get like the meatheads and stuff like that, it's like, oh, they're sort of really cringy to watch.
Yep.
Just didn't. I'd say the bland teens. When you go through the films, I don't know if you could name 2 characters from each film.
I think it'd be very hard to sometimes look at a character and put them to the film they were actually in.
Yeah.
And we know we're doing this well because we watched them recently enough. But you would struggle with certain ones where like, which one were you in?
Yeah.
That's a real problem, aside from the first one, I think.
And like even linking it back to the premonition scene, sometimes you can kind of piece it together from the premonition sequence to who died. So I think for the roller coaster, I probably could link it back to the nail gun, things like that. Just from recollection, but other than that, there's quite a lot of faceless, nameless characters, really.
Absolutely, but every so often, my next one, every so often you will get a character who is the fucking worst. Like, just an awful character. Not in the sense that, he might be supposed to be obnoxious, but he's so obnoxious that it's not fun to watch. Oh. And I am talking about Frankie Cheeks from the 3rd film. The worst character of all of them. The name is Frankie Cheeks. If that doesn't give you a fucking clue. And his death is so that you don't even know it's him that's been killed until he's already dead. Yeah. That's how shit his character is. Yeah. It's not fun to watch. It's a shit character. That's just shit. Yeah.
They could have played on that character in his death. That would have made more sense to me. Like having him be a complete sleazebag, avoiding some girls that hit him and then get hit by something else. They didn't go down that route.
I got a better one. Obnoxious character you hate, who keeps surviving until the end, who keeps almost getting killed but surviving, so it skips over them. So you're just like, I can't believe this character fucking still alive until the end. Then he gets killed.
Who's that?
Frankie Cheeks.
Oh yeah. So
that's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do to the character. If he's so unlikable, you keep him alive, and you're like, we're gonna drive you nuts with this guy.
Oh, sorry, I thought you was referencing someone from another film.
No.
There was another guy but I think he died pretty quick on. He was like the one that won the lottery and all the gold chains.
Oh, Evan from Final Destination 2.
The topless one.
There's a good example of a character that is defined by what actually is around him, nothing else. Yeah.
Clear Rivers. The name really fucking bothers me. I was going to call her Claire. Her name's Claire. Clear Rivers. Bloody hippie parents.
It's a weird name, but I've got her as well, but for a different reason.
Her name, and also I just find her a bit of a cliche, mopey, moody teenager. So I didn't like her. A teenager, young adult.
Yeah, she's not a teenager.
No, in any stretch of the words.
So, spoilers for if you don't know, Claire is eventually the only survivor of the first film after Alex is killed off screen via errant brick to the head. So Claire has housed herself by choice into a psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
Presumably she has the money to do that, because I'm pretty sure you can't just go in and say, I want to live here.
Yeah.
Without having a damn good crazy reason to do so.
Yeah.
But basically she's hiding out of there and staying away, but she's still obsessed over it. That I'm fine with. My problem is how she's brought back into the sequel. She's obviously visited by the main star, who basically guilt trips her into coming out and joining the movie. That's it. Guilt trips her.
Yeah.
Why would that work on Claire?
Yeah.
Why? She doesn't even know you.
Yeah.
Why would that work? And you know, but she also
yeah.
she constantly implies that she knows death is unstoppable. That they even kill Alex in the end.
Yeah.
Why would you think I can come out and help?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So she's brought back into the film through guilt.
Yeah.
That is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that. Crap CGI. Well, we touched upon that in the Love video, but yeah, the crap CGI just
The third film is the biggest. Third film's premonition sequence is the biggest one for me, and the roller coaster. Every time anyone gets splattered in that, it looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Yeah.
Sticking with the second film. So the second film introduced something that later films would happily fucking drop to a degree. And I hate it. It's so bad. So the second film decided, we won't just have your opening premonition. Our lead will now, non-stop throughout the movie, have sudden visions of what's happening. And they'll be trying to piece it together. And it all ties around this van that's being driven and this Dr. Javorskian.
Oh, yeah.
And what the fuck? What is that going to do with anything?
No.
That's just cheating.
Yeah.
That's not a film anymore. Now you've just got, the idea is a premonition and you've just got to try and survive that way. Fine. But now you're adding extra premonitions constantly. She's just like, she'll be sitting there and, I just had another vision.
Yeah.
And crap like that. Later films would do another problem where they would add a second premonition event in, which I'm going to actually do as my next one too. I'm going to do 2 in a row. Which is later films would have another premonition event, which fucked me off.
Yeah.
The third film does it with the train.
Yeah.
And the fourth film does it with the cinema. No, is that the fifth film?
Oh, with the escalators. I think that's the fourth one. I think.
See, yeah, it's the fourth one, the Final Destination. And it has the cinema / escalator one. It turns out to be another premonition. Yeah. It's just like, fucking hell, guys. Really? Yeah. You've already done your big event. But the biggest sin for me is, that I said, the constant mini visions she has in the second film. But there's 2 and 1.
Yeah. So linked to that, I put the way they try to change the law.
Yeah, the law. Yeah, started changing the rules.
Yeah,
the rules.
It was like, literally, it would just get you. It was like, certain ways it was good, like in the flight plan, it got you in the flight plan, easy way of tracking it. When they didn't have that to pin it onto, it just got stupid.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do. So they had to have a reason for our characters to be able to try and link up in any way, shape or form. Yeah.
Which I didn't thought was a bit stupid. You know?
Yep. Do another one because I did 2.
It was supposedly based on a real event. So the first film with the plane crashing after someone got a bad feeling.
Yep.
Actually happens. So if someone said, don't get on that plane tomorrow, I've just got a weird feeling, and the plane they're supposed to get onto crashed. Obviously, that's just one of the things that happens in life, but obviously they made the films out of it. But the fact that obviously people really died, it's a bit shit. Yeah,
because that event happened a lot. I mean, you hear incredible stories about the obviously horrific event that was 9/11. And people who should have been there that day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's I don't believe in that kind of stuff, but it's just a scary coincidence, you know. Yeah. But it can happen to anyone, you know. My job is directly related to a serious event that occurred in London in 2005.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't at work that day.
No.
I don't work at those stations, but I would have been caught up more on it had I been at work and so on, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
And it might be a film, it might be a series of films people might not want to watch because of that.
Yeah.
If you had someone die in an accident like that, you might be like, I'm staying well away from that because it's, triggers off some sort of bad emotions. But, I thought I'd add that as a negative almost.
Fair enough. 3D. Out the window. The fucking window. Yeah. Really? Final Destination's variation of 3D is the 3D you hate as well, where it's like, here's something coming at you, here's something coming at you, here's something coming at you. Yeah. And you can watch it without 3D and spot those moments a mile away. It reminds me, hilariously, it's like this is a modern movie using the 3D effects of the 80s, where all they had was, here's something coming at you. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah, I put that 3D crap just for cinema goers.
Yep.
I don't benefit from watching it at home. I just we sit there going, well, that was 3D.
Yep, that was supposed to be.
That was for a cinema goer. And it just comes across as a bit shit. And that links into previous negatives of the CGI and over the top. They had to make it over the top, otherwise why bother with 3D?
Yep, and obviously it's going to be heavily CG, noticeable because of the 3D effect.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we doubled up. When death starts to get too complicated. So one of the things I hate about the later film is the overtly complex deaths that start to occur. And some of them are just too fucking much. As much as I love the tanning bed one, the length that goes to try and all these little things that being set up and this is happening and this is happening and that's got to happen for this to happen and so on. And it's just like, no. The best ones are the ones that either happen suddenly or happen directly after someone else has convoluted death.
Yeah.
So a good example of that is the nail gun to the face one, which is actually set up as someone else's really convoluted with a forklift and all that, but then ended up resulting in someone else getting killed via sudden nail guns to the face.
I can still picture that one. That's really vivid, that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And another one to that, really over the top, is the gymnastics one.
Oh, wow.
There's so much going on that you go, oh, that's it.
And then it's not. It's not that.
It's not it at all.
Yeah, don't like it.
Personal one here, it hasn't helped my eye phobia. So the laser surgery one did not help at all. And that's not the way she dies, but just the picture of it, just the idea of being stuck under a laser, like burning your eyeball, get in the bin.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a hate for me. Ugh.
Another kind of personal one, because I know you don't quite agree with this one, but it was in a love video as a love, but it's also a hate. Killing of Devon Sawa's character Devon Sawa's character off screen really bugs me because he was the star of the first film, so it's so unbefitting of that character to just get taken out by an... Yeah, I said I did love it as well because it's hilarious. But just like, oh yeah, there's your star of the first one. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Brick to the face, newspaper article. And that's it.
You could have done it where you filmed, like, he was a pretty generic looking dude.
From the back. I'd said to you from the back.
Yeah.
From the back, have him... Because the idea is it was the first time he came out in months. And he came out and then he was with Claire and... Because, we know she was there because she said she was there. And film it from the back, somebody who looked exactly like him from the back, which wouldn't have been hard, and just have the brick hit him there, and that's it.
Yeah, we didn't have a definite body build or like a weird...
You could have easily done it. Yeah.
So, police reaction to some of the deaths, some could not be explained. Like,
impossible to explain.
Impossible to explain. It was a bit like, well, yeah... Again, when they get so convoluted, how would you explain that away?
It's
simple
impossible.
Ones make sense. Like, the girl got hit by a bus. That happens. A guy slips in the shower. That happens daily. When these other things, like all these things work together, it's just like, how did that actually happen?
It's one of the positives about Final Destination 5 is we get a detective who he even says, like, it's not like I believe you, but this is all getting too weird now.
Again,
and I think you know something.
Yeah, and that plays into the cleverness of the fifth film. This is the first occurrence of it.
Yep.
So
or at least the one that's become quite prominently noticeable.
Yeah. So why would you kind of be... You've not had 5 films worth of like stuff happening in America like this, or cases to refer back to. So that's like a little, when you watch it back, that's like a clue of why comes he's not referencing past cases of unexplained weird deaths.
Yeah, because it's also, isn't it the first one that's quite set away from where the current town is? Yeah.
So good on it.
Yeah. Is that your last one?
No, I've got... Oh no, I've got a really silly one.
Well, I got one. Well, you do a silly one because I got one serious one.
Stupid numbering. I know because I didn't know I was going to make it. So one's called The Final Destination, and then the fifth one's called Final Destination 5 because they weren't going to make a fifth one.
Well, obviously they were planning not to.
Yeah, just called Final Destination 4.
Well, because obviously they were planning not to, but that's not the only one. You know, Friday the 13th. What's it? Friday the 13th, part 5, the final chapter, or 4, the final chapter.
Yeah.
Freddy's dead. they got Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh,
Although technically that's quite different. So
I find it irritating.
You know, it's not the first to do that.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, my last one is ultimately it is only a matter of time until it gets rebooted.
Oh.
It has been long enough now. In fact, it's supposedly in the works already. And I don't see why.
Yeah, it's still too new.
Not only that as well, I would say this. What can you possibly do different? Aren't you then isn't this just basically we're going to be looking at a remake and that's it with better technology, which means we're probably going to get a fuck ton more CGI.
Yeah, you can't go much darker with Death because that loses the element of Final Destination that people like and would watch. As if you're not extreme horror fan, you would enjoy these because they still come into the horror bracket. If you make
it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Oh, if you make it more grotesque and more over the top, you lose what Final Destination is.
We need a little bit longer for this to be nostalgic.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. 2000, it's prime. 20 years.
20 years for first Final Destination. Absolutely.
25. Call it a 25-year thing, perhaps.
I think it's just a matter of time, unfortunately, and I don't think it'll be a good idea because I don't see what can be added.
No,
there you go. 10 things we hate about the Final Destination series. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?